motion to have a referendum committee. It was seconded in. We had discussion, and then we never voted on it. Okay, so it never was passed. And the board feels that we're gonna wait at this time before we do it. We don't wanna rush into it. We were thinking about passing it so we could have it on the April election. But we're not gonna, we're gonna check the numbers. I want Kurt, Roxanne, Clara, all of them to check the numbers. So when we go to the county, we have a number for them. Not just throwing something on the wall to see if it stays. A lot of people think if referendum won't pass the first time. If we do it right, I think it would. So we gotta approve it.
Right, so I fixed it on my computer, but I reprinted it in one place of paper, so that'll get changed.
So does this board agree that we should wait on the referendum committee until we get some solid numbers? Yeah, I do too. Okay, so
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with that change.
we have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye, opposed? Should we approve the minutes? 6 communications. It's the, we got nothing. 7 is veterans recognition, and I put that on here because this board's not gonna meet again until after Veterans Day. In the last 6 weeks, we lose veterans every day. The last 6 weeks or so, we lost 3 in this community. Just 3, and I knew all 3 of them, and one was Paul Muller's son, David. He was in there for 17 years, and then he got sick. And then when he got better, he went back working on the base as a public servant. So he served his country well. Next, what I thought of when I seen it was Freddie. He was my math teacher in school. He earned a lot of respect. Scott and Doug will let you know that if you walked through by his hallway, you respected him. If you didn't, you met Fredo. Okay? And he was so I had a lot of respect for him. He was a good teacher. He was good for the community. The last one is Bobby Rosenti, that I know by Minnow. Minnow's done a lot for this community and for this county. He was the veterans officer for our law in Eric Longwood. I'm not sure either, but I think he was like one of the first year-old Bill. I don't know how long he was.
Yeah, I think the first one I did.
He did a lot for the veterans. He did a lot for this community. He was the mayor of Kyle for a while. This helicopter, this tank, and that wall outside, the Vietnam veterans, they did it, but Minnow had the connections. Minnow got all that stuff. Got that tank. Got the tank, got Montreal. This was 25 years ago. We got it off the trailer. We were riding around first in Montreal. We were freaking out. But, you know,
Down here from Montreal.
so that outside is all Minnow had the connections, and then I went to all the funerals. Minnow's, it was a color guard for all veterans, but these people came. I didn't know, neither did you. And it was 3 Marines in dress blues, a blue and 2 staff sergeants, and they did the taps. They sat over in the corner. If you ever seen a real one, it's something. And I went and talked to them after because I thought they were recruiters or something. They weren't. They were active duty. They were sent here by Commandant of the Marine Corps. That's how much hold I had. So I just wanted everybody to, you know, when you see veterans on Veterans Day, thank them while you're still here because they do a lot. And no matter who's running this country, just like that, the soldiers stick together. They came for it. And I just wanted to say that. And we move on to number 8, Land and Zoning to give presentation on their department overview. Okay.
What?
We,
I'm Erica Rader. I've been here about 13 years in the zoning office, 8 of which I've been the zoning administrator. For anyone who doesn't know me or recognize me, I put a write-up in your pile of papers that you showed up with, or showed up to today. I'm not going to read all of that. You guys don't want to listen to me talk all night. So I'll read a short summary at the top, and then I ask that you look it over, and anytime you have questions or concerns, a call or stop at the zoning office to clarify or learn or whatever you wish to do. So a summary of what zoning does. We protect resources and property values by upholding county ordinances, including land use, shoreline, land division, floodplain, metallic mining, and mobile tower siting. We also use state codes, including natural resources and Department of Safety and Professional Services codes. We do property searches to talk with property owners, potential buyers, and potential sellers on what is allowable or already an existing use. We permit sanitary systems and land use permits after verifying projects for compliance within zoning districts. We uphold many state standards and programs such as non-metallic mining reclamation and sanitary maintenance, floodplain regulations, shoreline regulations, and mobile tower siting, which are also state mandated. So if you have any questions for me now, or Jerry accompanied me, he also works in the zoning office, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, we always are willing to answer any questions.
Ever heard Jerry, you work very hard, you're out in the field as well as in this office. He goes through a lot of things.
I think are very knowledgeable, really very community focused, able to get out there, do things that none of us can do, like approve standard sewer systems or separate things. You're amazing.
Anything else?
No,
Looks like
we're, we're gonna be, passing 3 zoning things tonight, that's right, kind of put this together. She'll explain them along with that. What we passed. Anybody else have anything for land and zoning? Okay, nothing there. We can discuss the employee survey summary number 9. We had a survey, we asked how many employees who go on the internet, put on what they want, they have username and numbers. So all we've been doing, you guys get in your packet. Did you get a summary? No, I didn't get none either. But I can give you a summary. Me and Roxanne was with me, we had a department head meeting, we went through them there. And almost 70% of them, I'd say 60, 70% of them, we've already done. There's a few of them that we need to have a wage study. That would clean up. Would clean up a lot of them if we had a wage study. A lot of questions were about that. We can clean that up. We gotta find some money for it. Karen and Roxanne are adamant to be had. I believe in it too. We gotta find a money. I'll make you one of these. You guys all have. We've already answered them all. We went through it. Everybody seems satisfied with our answers. I'm satisfied with what we've done. In the last 6 months, we've done stuff that we haven't done in 25 years. And a lot of them are answered. If you want a little, we share the employees input. What else? The handbook, we went over the handbook, almost done. Right, Roxanne, it's gonna be presented to you probably the next meeting, hopefully. We did that. That was a good undertaking.
Love to see the finance meeting.
Yeah, we had some questions about the county fleet of vehicles, oil changes and stuff. Billy needs to be doing that. You may take that on. We can just turn them down there. We have a lift. We ain't been using it, so we're thinking about doing that. But I'll make sure you guys get this thing that we went through it. With the department heads, and they seem satisfied with all our answers to what we gave them. Okay, then we'll go to the committee department head, the chairman's report. We'll go this way, Kurt. Oh, I'll go this way.
This way?
Yeah.
All right. Finance met on October 15. The committee recommended support or approval to the following items that appear on tonight's agenda. The deputy union contract, hiring new corp counsel, wage schedule, $15 annual administrative fee for the private on-site waste treatment system, and the 2025 budget summary that was published in Friday's newspaper for the November 12th public hearing. So those will all be talked about coming up. Number 2, we discussed the 23 audit, passed a motion to direct the clerk to work towards eliminating the material weaknesses identified in the audit. We'll set up a special revenue fund, record CDBG activity, and become clearinghouse for reconciling bank accounts. Kristen thought that the tasks we talked about were manageable, and once she gets past the election and the canvassing that follows the week after the election, we'll begin focusing on that work. Third thing we talked about was the administrative coordinator position. While doing some background work, Roxanne found out that there were really no written duties or expectations associated with that position. In recent years, the administrative coordinator has been assigned to someone in the clerk's office. And that is not a requirement, and for Iron County has not always been handled that way. The committee decided to open up the administrative coordinator position January 1 and identify the following responsibilities to supplement the upcoming work on the county's organization structure and financial reporting. 1, act as a liaison between the board and individual department heads to resolve questions and disputes and assist in resolving conflicts and inconsistencies with the handbook. 2, provide direct supervision for department heads who are not elected or who do not report to a board committee. 3, make recommendations to the county board for structure, organization, and strategic improvements to county departments. 4, work with the clerk and treasurer to assist with monthly review of financial information, present mid-year budget modifications, and provide long-term budget and financial planning work for the board. So we kind of framework that. We thought it would be good to open up to this position with some defined responsibilities. Just sure they tweaked a little bit. See if there's any employees or any board members who are interested in pursuing the administrative coordinator position. Recently, I would say, especially in the last year, there's probably been certain board members who played a pretty big role in the administrative coordinator. So if you're interested, you got till November 8th to contact Murph, and on the November 19th finance meeting, we'll make a recommendation. See how we want to proceed for the December decision by this point. So that was finance.
Thank you. Thank you for continuing to cut away the budget. You did a nice job with paper, you, Kristen, Clara. Okay,
I don't have anything.
Sarah,
We got 2 things. The memorial building met and continuing to make a profit. The cash balance is still in excess of $30,000, so that's good. We did make a decision on the outside tax accountant. We're going to keep using Bria Lombardo because the next item is we're leasing out the bowling alley and bar as opposed to having the Memorial Building Restoration Foundation actually like run it. So it'll be separate lease out, just like Cotty's is a lease, and then each home rental is a lease. So therefore, it can be a true nonprofit. And then that leads into the next thing we talked about, that we're going to do a IRS 1023 easy to apply for nonprofit status. So hopefully we get that done by the next meeting. Bria Lombardo and I are going to complete that and get that rolling. Bookings for the Memorial Building are coming in, and we're starting to get booked up through May of 2025. A whole bunch of maintenance was done. The outside railing was fixed above the bowling alley entrance. We're going to be putting in some LED energy saving lighting in the next little while here. Action Floors is going to come in and resurface the floor. And because we have a fairly good balance in the Memorial Building Fund, we are able to do that. And the final item is we're still looking at somebody to come in and be the person that we donate the baby grand piano to. There's some history with the baby grand piano, and we'd like it to go to a good home. Hopefully we can make that happen.
I thought that wasn't that going to the Iron Theater?
We're still talking to them.
Oh, okay, I thought that was, oh,
Yep.
Done deal yet, but
Not
I told Don, we'll give it to anybody, you know, if it goes to the, beautiful piano.
someplace that it'll be used, played, you know, the benefactor who gave it, was so generous and wanted it to be used. We hope that that's the case. And then I just wanted to give a couple little updates for the extension. We're still getting requests for the track chair, which is nice to see that being used. And I wanted to give a shout out to Neil for helping us with the Iron County survey that you just mentioned. You played an integral part in making that anonymous and then putting all the results together for us, so thank you. I believe you're also doing some things with AmeriCorps and you're starting a 4-H shooting sports 8-week program that's going to take place here in October, November, so you got a lot going on. And obviously you're having youth members sit with us for the board and assigning some of us as mentors for them. So that's all very, very cool. And tomorrow in Hurley and Mercer, we will have the Iron County Resource Fair. So that's something coming up. If any of you want to participate, you can find the information out on Facebook. I know it is, but there's posters all over the place. And the Hurley session, I'm trying to think what time does it start, 11:30 or noon, 11 to 1. And then the Mercer Iron County Resource Fair is from 4 to 6 in the community center in Mercer. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you, Doug, for fixing the rail at Memorial Building. Another thing, Doug, we had an idea to it, the wheelchair access to Memorial Building checks all the boxes, but it's kind of shabby. Like he said, we can get rid of the outside. Elevators, just, we can put it by the door and if you go up, something we can fundraise for or something would be better than what we have now. So thank you for fixing that. Morning, carry it out.
Sure. So I have three committees I was involved with. The Human Services Board, looked at the budget for 2024, where we're at, looked at numerous contracts that were approved for the center, Northwest Connections, Northland Counseling, Trumbull County Health Center, and County, are just a few. The aging plan for 2025 to 27 was reviewed and approved. Discussion on the opiate settlement funds for bookkeeping. The county clerk will need to complete the report since numerous departments are involved with use of the funds and this information is not available to Human Services. Discussion on the proposed 2025 budget was finalized and will be moving forward to finance and board approval within a couple of weeks. Discussion on RFP for services that are currently provided by Northland Counseling. We need to determine if the services can be done remotely. Human Services will add the line in the RFP about remote services. That's a possibility. And it was not approved at this point in time, or more discussion possibly in the future. Work from home, Human Services has remote work agreements and policies in place, and they're pretty solid. All workers do 100% time reporting. Any issues are addressed timely, and that's managed well. And if it isn't, it will be addressed. Child care centers in the community, Ironwood, Camp Dorn centers have closed recently. This affects the community substantially with families with young children and the ability to work, safety for the kids, and many other issues. Researching of a task force for the county needs to be put into place to help find a solution. And I think you've actually already been working on that, am I right, Larry?
Yeah.
So, several social workers are obtaining the social worker license. 2 social workers have completed their exams and passed. 1 social worker has 1 more year to complete before she has 1 more year to finish it. And then there's also 1 that has 6 months to complete, and she should have that done probably in less than 3. 4 children are in out-of-home care. No changes since the last board meeting. There are 2 licensed foster care homes in Iron County, and another individual has recently put in an application, in which would be good. And I know Highline was notified of the layoff of the social worker on their site. ADRC update, case holds reviewed, positive outcomes shared. Mercer Meal site surveys have been disseminated. Surveys are being collected and tabulated. They will be discussed at the next meeting. There's, right now, there's a lot of issues around that, and town is talking about it pretty extensively at this point in time. So we'll be working with them to help create solutions. So, my next one is Iron County Land Information Council met on October 22nd. Neil had put together a 2025-27 plan that was reviewed and approved. It's very well written. It has several projects in it. Project 1 is completion of an integral of PLSS for the corners, sections, corners, and meandered corners. They're all like located in the swamps. So it's like the last sets of sections that need to be done. It's like up to 700 corners will be done during that time. Project 2 is Iron County update on air photo coverage for the county. Project 3 is back scanning of register of deed volumes. There's 160 historic volumes that need to be scanned and added to the online document viewer. So that's one of the projects that will be done. This is all through grant money. Project 4 is a web map upgrade. Project 5 is public access to land information for both the Register of Deeds and Treasurers. And then Project 6 was the specialist wages being allocated from the grant for $25,000 to offset the budget for this year. There's one other thing, IT job description was missed with our work group. We discovered that when we were getting ready for performance appraisals, and actually we worked on it, it's completed. So it goes to personnel committee and board for approval at the next meeting, just so you're aware. Transportation Coordinating Committee, which is it meets only one time a year. It's a Highline relationship with Iron County. They discussed allocation of a state grant. That's really what the purpose of the meeting is. This grant is given to Iron County. It's one that we actually put together, and it is for Iron County for us to use. Historically, there's been a split of 50-50 with this grant, with the exception of $6,000 for our volunteer driver. We had quite a discussion on this one around the table. Highline and several board members were requesting that they remain with 50-50 split. It's about $95,867 is actually allocated, with 20% of that allocation is actually Iron County funded. Highline historically wants to maintain that allocation of the grant. Iron County wants and needs to expand services because of demand. We do need to expand our services within the county. It's growing. Our transportation needs are growing substantially. So we were going to vote on it. There was a motion to approve this. I pulled back on that one because it needs further discussion and understanding of this before we make a motion to actually approve this. So additional information is in the process of being obtained, including profitability of Highline at this point. So that's my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Gary. Okay, Rick.
Economic Development met on the 22nd. It was our first new group, and it went well. We're trying to establish our goals for housing, childcare, and development for the county, and it's all new members, and we got to touch base and get to meet each other a little bit. Our next meeting will be on the 4th of December, and we've got another member, Adam Tuck from Remax will be joining our board. And it's a light summary of what we're doing.
And I encourage all business owners, Mercer, early, wherever you're in Iron County, I think you should attend this. I think it's going to be a good thing. Rick's going to do a good job. Thanks, Rick. Pat, what you got?
The recycling, we haven't had a meeting. We haven't really had one. zoning, we have 5 up for vote tonight. We're coming up with this. They're all important things. We could have to change.
Yeah.
Discussion at the moment. And airport, I wasn't at the meeting, and maybe Mario could bring this up. A little bit on that.
Carl, what you got?
Sheriff's Department, we had a road deputy transferred to jailer dispatcher, so we're looking for a full-time road deputy. Still looking for a part-time female. We got number 20 on the agenda tonight for the deputy's contract. And we reviewed and passed on to the finance committee the budgets for Sheriff's Department and emergency management.
Well, the fair board, the fair is actually, we're winding down for that year. The storage, the building's just about full. There's a few more units that we could, anybody's out there that needs to start their camp, we can get a couple more in. And that'll be done. And the stage we completed this week, so that's done. So just wait till next year before we continue with work out there. And then on the railroad, committee we met 2 weeks ago. And Ontonagon is looking to have 47 miles they want repaired on the railroad. But the WAPCO says it takes $30 to $70 million to repair those lines up there. And they just don't throw that kind of money out because they want to have their return. They want to see at least 100 cars that come through on that rail system to make it worthwhile. And WAPCO is looking to repair the line from Park Falls to Mellon, and that's in the works. I don't know when I can complete that, but that is going to be happening. To prepare for the mine up here. So, that's all I got.
Thanks, Doug. Roy, what you got?
IT committee met, discussed a lot of things. First of all, talked about various processes, specifically help desk processes that Danny would like to eventually have automated. Right now, he's reporting those to us manually. Talked about the 2024 budget so far, just shy of $250,000 of a $309,000 budget. It looks like he's projecting that we'll be under that budget. Then had computer doctors present a summary of their services and what they thought their role might be in the future. And he did the same as far as the future of the IT department, looking for what the best way to blend their services with what Danny's able to do and come up with a department that's efficient and cost effective. Whatever. So that's going to be a work in project or in progress for a while.
You don't have no CCP.
I do. I did not have a meeting, but I do have an update from Land and Water Conservation, completing 2 construction projects, Aaron County Forestry Lake of the Falls Bank Stabilization and Town of Sherman Culvert Project. This wraps up the 2024 construction season, provided education outreach on soil health at Iron County's Log a Load program, educated approximately 700 kids over 2 days, conducted site visits for new construction projects with landowners, hosted a farmer dinner workshop to educate Iron County farmers on program assistance through the county, hosted a gathering of Iron County Lake Group leaders with a guest speaker from the DNR, and met with Enbridge media staff to finish up short video footage on the Tyler Forks project Eco Footprint Grant. Probably a lot more.
Yeah, you go. Thank you. Bill.
We didn't have a highway review.
Hey, Scotty.
All right, forestry, some of the same things Roy talked about, so I'll skip over those, but to the good news, stumpage, 1,388,851. Last year was 1,296,412, so we're plus 92,000 439. With that, we completed our fall timbers or winter timber sale with an estimated value of $1,059,000. And that brings our total year sales to $2,041,000. So quite a bit better than we had in the past, but of course, those are over 3 years, so it may take some time to recoup the rewards of that. Set the forestry and parks department fees and rates for camping and other things, about a 5% increase we look at over the course of next year to help things out. We have a road use permit here, number 18 on the forestry road, and we have the Iron County Forestry Work Plan here on number 22 to complete. So those are on for this meeting. Other than that, like Roy said, they held a host for the Log-A-Load in Pence, very good success. 700 to 800 young kids got to see how the logging industry works and how valuable it is here to northern Wisconsin. You've seen, maybe if you drove by there, you saw the equipment and all the logs are stacked up that goes for a benefit for youth. And we're delayed on the NOAA grant, which is probably okay for us for right now because we have a little match to go with that, but that is in a delayed process right now. Not to be found out for half a year, Eric, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I've actually gotten permission to start the appraisals and the preliminary work, so that's in process now.
That's it, Murph.
Thank you, Scott. Jamie,
Nothing this month.
Mario,
The airport meeting. There's some training for a couple employees for fuel training that they have to update every couple of years. We're looking at purchasing something like a Quonset hut to store sand for the sand and salt for the runway. There's no flights on Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's this year. The airline will add a flight on Saturday for those 3 holidays. That's this year only. So next year, we'll see what they want to do. They added, Denver Air added Muskegon as a destination. It will minimally about 10 to 15 minutes effective flight times out of the airport. That we're already there. And our next meeting is November 11th.
thank you, Mario. Chairman's report, I got nothing other than I already apologized to the town. We had a meeting, canceled it. They didn't know about it, they came. I apologize. Advertised it valuable. I brought it to the department heads, asked them if they could help me, and they came up with every meeting, no matter who posts it, it's gotta go to Kristen. Kristen's gonna put it on my website. So it shouldn't happen again. I apologize.
It was nice talking to Bill.
I drive to talk to the parking lot.
Okay, is there public comment? Is there anybody has any public comment? If there's none, then we'll all discuss action to hire Doug Musket as the court counsel for 2025. Doug was the only one that applied. I need a motion to hire Doug Musket as our corporate counsel for 2025.
I'll make a motion to hire Doug Musket for 2025 court counsel.
We've got a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss action to approve the raises of the employees in your packet. You got everybody's, what they make, that's their payroll. With the exception, we missed is Casey Levra. Casey Levra is gonna be the shop foreman. Okay, you should get the same pay as the road foreman. So it would be an additional 31 cents. Correct, yeah. Extra 31 cents when we missed. Okay. With that, if you look at it, that's what everybody makes. So nobody's, everybody's gonna get what it is. You're raising 3%, except for Julie's gonna get her dollar that she should have, it was just timing, you know, she's getting it. Eric's, as the harbor was done, Eric's money was taken away from him, and then he's got a new, if you look here, he has a new salary. Reset it, it'll take over January 1st. September 3. Other than that, everybody look at it, and after that, I get a motion to approve this.
I'll make that motion.
Was that dollar before or after the 2%?
Yeah, per dollar from the consortium.
Was $1, then 2%. Was 31 cents, then 2%. That's how that works. Is that your question?
If she was at 20, she got 21, and then she got 2%.
Correct.
Okay, got a motion on the floor by Roxanne, do I have a second?
It was by me, by the way.
Who was Karen? Sorry,
Yes.
Karen. Over there in the corner. It's Karen.
I'll lean ahead of you.
You got a motion by Karen. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Kurt. Is there any discussion on this? See anything? With that, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 14, discussion action to amend Iron County's land use title 9, section 9.4.1 for change the floor area of a residence to a minimum of 400 square feet for all residences in all zoning districts to allow any dwelling space less than 400 square foot by required conditional approval. Pat, if you don't mind, I'd like Eric to explain that to everybody. Is that okay? What we're voting on? Eric, can you tell us what we're voting on?
We've had a lot of requests for the tiny home trend, but we wanted a way to kind of establish some protection. Before we had a graduated schedule based on number of bedrooms in zoning district, it was a lot for us to rattle off to people, for people to understand where the threshold was. So the zoning committee helped decide that 400 square feet would be a good number because 400 is kind of the RVIA standards for like a tiny home on wheels. If it's RVIA stamped, then it's legal RV. So there is still the trend to have the tiny shed that's less than 400 square feet. So we thought by conditional use, which means the zoning committee looks at the living space, that will be means for an approval for the true tiny home. So that's what this is reflecting.
Okay, we need a motion for this.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Tanner, seconded by Dougie. Any discussion on this? That motion carries. All in favor?
Aye.
I was just thinking to myself, very people living at 400 square feet, good luck. Okay, number 15, discuss action to amend Iron County Land Use Title 9, Section 9.4.10 to allow single-family dwellings and private garages and carports as permitted use in the F1 Forestry District. Once again, Pat, with all due respect, can Eric explain that to us? Erica?
We often find situations, currently forestry does not allow single-family residence or garage unless by conditional use, and then it can only be seasonal, which works until they sell the structure and then someone moves in full-time. We find it from 3 zoning administrators before that it was never rezoned, people moved in full-time, and so we're trying to just come up with some consistency. All other forestry rules would apply. It would just allow for, if someone walks in, they can build a home on a lot that they bought that happened to be zoned forestry.
Okay, with that, I need a motion.
To approve the amendment of the Iron County Land Use Title 9, section 9.410 to allow single-family dwellings, private garage and carports as permitted for use in map 1 forestry.
We have a motion by Roxanne, need a second. Seconded by Pat Hanson. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And the last one is discuss action to amend Title IX to allow permitted garage size of 1,800 square feet. Erica, one more time.
Well, three more times.
Yeah, three more.
This one, there is a trend to build oversized storage buildings for people to keep all of their toys in. They are constantly filling our zoning committee meeting agenda up. So there's been discussion for about a year of raising the size limit. It used to be 1,000 square feet. So we took a survey of all the townships and with the zoning committee came up with a number of 1,800 square feet, 1,800 square feet, before they would require conditional use.
Are you referring to like the farm dominions?
No, that is technically a residence with an attached garage. It's just a fancy term for it.
Okay.
This is like just a pole barn where someone's storing their camper, UTVs, snowmobiles.
Do we have a motion for that?
Yeah, motion. I'll support.
Oh, Carl made the motion, Jimmy Francis supported it. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss action for amendments and rewrite of Iron County Land Use Ordinance Title IX, Section 9.5.9, Private Sewers Regulations. Have Jerry do it.
Essentially, that's getting rid of some bad language, or not bad language, but some outdated language in our sanitary ordinance, getting it into compliance with the state requirements, and just cleaning it up and making it more manageable. Getting rid of some, some language that gave people, left us in an indefensible position for enforcing our ordinance.
Couple words here and there, yeah. Get rid of it.
A word or two would kill you.
Basically cleaned it up, so I need a motion for this.
Make that motion. Or the amendment to rewrite the county land ordinance, section 9, Title 9, or ordinance Title 9, section 9.5.9, the private sewage regulations.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 18, discuss action on resolution 2024-3074 approving road use permit to William Wild Forestry Committee. Hey, Scotty, what you got on that? You guys approved it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Bill, second.
I'll support.
Second by Scotty. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 19, discussion action on resolution 2024-3075 authorizing the submittal of applications for grants to administrators of Iron County Forest for the year 2025. Hello, Jared.
This is just your standard, every year resolution you guys pass that allows me and the clerk's office to submit grants to operate the county forest for the admin grant, for DNR grants. We added to the resolution, Wisconsin Emergency Management grants, things like that. Just a typical annual grant.
Thank you, Eric. I need a motion on that.
I'll make that motion.
Bill made the motion and Pat seconded it. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And discussion action on resolution 2024-3076 agreement between Iron County and the Iron County Deputy Sheriff's Association covering January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. You got Carl.
I'll make that motion.
Carl's gonna make that
I'll
motion.
second.
Second that, Senator Miller. Any questions or discussion? You went very good, you guys did a good job, right? When you Aye. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss action on resolution 2024-3077 to add $15 yearly POWTS maintenance program fee. Erica.
Mark.
Explain that one.
In budget discussions with Kurt, he asked if there were any places within zoning where we could generate some revenue to make up for costs that's going out the door. One of those ways is our POWTS maintenance program, private on-site wastewater treatment system program, which is when you guys get those pesky letters the state has been sent to you reminding you to service your septic. Some people answer them quickly, others do not. We have to keep track of the maintenance that comes in the door. Most of it's for state tracking purposes and what we call the Wisconsin Fund, which is grant money that comes back to Iron County to help people replace their failing septic systems. Jerry would know the number of money that is hopefully coming back to us this year. Do you know the number?
About $54,000.
So this $15 is generated by a calculation of how much money we feel goes out the door for time and supplies. And there are, I believe, 26 counties of the 72 that bring in a fee to cover the cost of the program.
Okay, with that, any motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Francis made a motion, Roxanne second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Scott? All right. Thank you for coming tonight. It was a perfect night for you. You explained a lot of what we were doing here. I appreciate that. Okay. Discussion, action on Iron County Forest Work Plan for 2025.
You guys should have that in your packet.
Packet.
Yep, it just lays out the goals and objectives for the forestry department. This is a requirement as part of the administrative grant that we received from DNR as well to prepare that work plan, so.
I think it's very well written. You do a good job on the forestry committee. Does a really good job. Okay, any motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bill,
I'll support.
seconded by Scotty. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, number 23, that you, Kurt, discuss the 2025 budget, if you would, please.
So Kristen put in the paper, and it's in your packet, summary of the 2025 budget. I would just say, you want me to explain anything, or what do you want me to do?
I would like you to explain how much it's gonna go up for each individual in the
Yep.
county.
So on the revenue side for the levy, we had talked at the last meeting about increasing that $415,000, which is $28 per 100,000 of equalized value, not assessed value, equalized value. And I would also just say that that will not be felt evenly among the municipalities in Iron County. Iron County's equalized value went up 13% this year, but there were 5 or 6 communities that went higher and a couple went lower. So that happens, that equalized value that the state does happens every year. And there's nothing we can control about that, but the levy dollars do go up from 5,656,748 to 6,072,188, which is 28 per 100,000 of equalized value, 415,000. When we talked last month on the kind of the budget model structure for Iron County, we talked about the need to have to increase taxes every year. Part of this increase really is making up for the fact we didn't do it last year. The tax rate actually drops from 432 to 406 per 100,000. So that's the levy side. Are there any other questions you have about what was put on that schedule? There's a lot of changes because the presentation's different. We've added a capital fund that wasn't there before. We certainly have moved around some dollars a little bit. We're not relying on carbon credit revenue, so you can see that in the general fund. 5 items down, 6 items down, there's a big increase. There's still a budget gap. If you look at the applied funds, the 2025 number under the general fund is 309,760. And we're also using 250,000 of highway excess funds from prior years to balance. So this whole budget discussion that we've been talking about, taking the 2024 budget, working it down, I'll update that at the next meeting. But we made a lot of progress on that. For 2025, there's still a little bit of a structural gap, and we just need a little more time to figure it out.
But it's not 2.4 million.
It's not 2.4 million.
Anybody else have any other questions about the budget? I'd like to thank Kurt for working on this as much as he does. He works out of a lot. We talked about hiring an administrative coordinator. In my eyes, Kurt's vetted for the last 6 to 8 months. That's why we have to start looking at for what Kurt got in life to live. He got grandkids. Not that he won't stop. Keep doing it because he likes it. We like him. Yeah. Okay, if there isn't any more discussion about the budget,
And the public hearing is, what is that, Chris, November 12th.
December 12th will be a public hearing. Okay, and with that, I covered everything on this agenda. I'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you. Oh, boy.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
All right, any questions? Let me get
You're gonna shoot us? We were waiting for it to start flying at us.
You get put on the deck.
Oh.